Okay.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the 4?
Okay, the LCD-4 is Audeze's newest headphone, their new reference headphone, and it features a double fluxor magnetic array. Fluxor magnets are patent pending, they're unique, and they're set up in a north-south way, custom cut at the factory, and they were first introduced in the EL8 headphone, which has been very successful, but the EL8 only had them on one side of the diaphragm. The LCD-4 has fluxor magnetic arrays, which you can find out more about on the website, the fluxor along with illustrations. That has a double fluxor array on either side of a nano spec diaphragm, extremely thin, and it develops 1.5 Tesla, which is the most magnetic flux available anywhere on any headphone. Therefore, it controls this ultrathin diaphragm very precisely, and it also has the rest of the phaser elements which help to guide sound waves within the headphone, and uniforce diaphragm. Now, the uniforce diaphragm is very unique in that there are gaps between the magnets.
Right.
So in those gaps between the magnets, when they line like this together, you have a voice coil that gets a little thicker and a little thinner. Thinner under the magnet, a little thicker when it's not exactly under the magnet, so that you get a very smooth frequency response, wide bandwidth, terrific control of the diaphragm. It gives you a real sense of space, depth, full range sound, fantastic bass, lovely mid-range, and very open highs. And I think today you need that. You need those open highs to have things sound real, exciting, really you are there. A lot of that has to do with dynamics and a sense of openness on top.
Right.
Audeze is a great company to work with. I'm Jonathan Scull from Scull
Thank you.
Communications, and Audeze is one of my clients.
Okay.
And one of my favorite clients, I might add.
Good.
Great company to work with.
Most people would ask the question, the first thing is, how does it differ from the 3? And I think you explained that, right?
That would be the fluxor magnetic arrays and a thinner diaphragm.
Exactly. And the second question I see a lot of people raise was, why is it so expensive?
Yeah, a lot of development went into it. The fluxor magnets, cutting them, it's all hand assembled. The super thin nano diaphragms, it all costs money. And there are, don't forget, the Abyss is 5,000.
Yes.
The HU1000s are 3,500 from.
Yes.
So it's like there's a trend toward trying to make statement products. This is Audeze's attempt at it. The LCD-3 with phaser is a fabulous headphone. The LCD-X and XC are terrific.
Yes.
But for someone who's looking for absolutely, top of the line that Audeze can make, it makes a fabulous combination with the King headphone amp that we did at Rocky Mountain Audio Fest, and that's a hybrid designed by Bascom King, that's the name.
Right.
And that has a tube input, E88 PCs, I think, 6922s, I think, and MOSFET drivers and a MOSFET output stage, and together. And think about it, in the sense, let's say you drop $8,000 US on a King and an LCD-4. What's it going to cost to produce that same sound with speakers in a room, cables, room treatment, front-end components, a rack? I mean, it's 10 to 1. So since space is getting smaller, since it's getting more expensive, life is getting more expensive, and in a way, headphones offer a very valid alternative to speakers in the room these days. Anyway, you can play Mahler at 3 in the morning. Or the Ramones, if
very loudly, yes, right.
Yeah, so the expense is all in the development. Audeze is not a huge company, so develop it. It has to devote a lot of resources to coming out with new headphone. Our EL8s are selling very well. That's $6.99, and of course $39.95 for the LCD-4.
We noticed that that companies such as the Oppo and the Hi-Fi Man and so on are heading toward what they call lighter type of headphones. And what is the stand with Audeze on this issue?
The stand is sound. And we've come out with a new carbon fiber type headband on the LCD-4 to make it much more comfortable for longer periods of listening comfortably. And the other thing with the weight is the double fluxor magnetic arrays.
I see. Okay.
You just can't get 1.5 Tesla of control if it's lighter. So I think devotees who are looking for that sound where you want to feel it, touch it, get into it, fall into the music, feel that connection that most audiophiles are looking for, it's got to be a little heavier to get there. So that's why we don't, I mean, it's easy enough to make it lighter, you know, we can have less technologically advanced diaphragm, less magnets. I mean, those other headphones are using standard off-the-shelf magnets.
Yes.
Audeze makes their own, cuts them a certain particular way that you can find out about online. All that takes time, it takes research, development, and finally, that's what winds up weighing as much as it does and why it costs as much as it does. But if it's the sound you want, it goes to the head.
Well, I've heard it just now, and I must say it's a beautiful sounding headphones. So,
on behalf of Audeze,
yes.
thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Jonathan.
Of course.